What exactly did happen that night? I mean, I know that Putin wasn't there for that whole dinner, or at your table for the whole dinner, but could you just maybe walk us through that? I mean, did he come and sit down and a picture was taken, or just what happened there?
Yeah, so I was invited to a conference held by RT. It was their 10th anniversary, and they had media from all over the world, including the BBC, China, India, Latin America. I mean, these were major media networks from around the world, and also academics and advocates. Mostly a lot of peace advocates were there, especially from the U.S., including the likes of Jesse Ventura, Tom Hartman.
I believe Ray McGovern was there too, right?
That's right, yeah. Lee Camp. I mean, it was really a who's who of the American peace community and others as well.
So why was the peace community there?
Because we were going to have an opportunity to be heard. I mean, this is, where else do peace advocates get heard?
Yeah.
We certainly don't get heard on American TV. And, so a lot of these folks have shows on RT because it will allow them editorial independence. Something that, for example, Mark Lamont Hill didn't have on CNN, where he got fired for advocating for Palestinian human rights. Censorship is a problem. We experience that in American corporate media. As who pointed this out? It might have been Glenn Greenwald. I don't remember who, but in the U.S., we have a state media. It's corporate media,
sure.
And it's extremely restricted. So I think these contrasts are, what shall we say, rather arbitrary. To label RT as state-controlled censored media and our corporate-controlled media is not. The people I know who go on RT have absolute editorial independence, or they wouldn't do it. And so that's many of the peace community. So they were there. And I was I was invited to this conference. And, I'm running a campaign where I want to get the word out on issues that I think are really critical. And, my mission in running in 2016 was to really bring, the necessity, the peace imperative to the table. The peace imperative and the peace options. Peace is not rocket science. It's really pretty straightforward. You just have to want to do it. Gorbachev and Reagan were able to make peace around nuclear weapons. That was the other major issue I really wanted to talk to, and climate change. We need a global Green New Deal, and Russia has as much at stake here as China and the U.S. We all need to do it together, and it's actually rather simple. We could all just agree to shift our military excesses. Everybody cut their military 75%, and let's put it into greening our economies and our trade and all the rest. And that way we'll all survive. Otherwise, we're not. None of us. And, that envelope has to be pushed. And, it's remarkable to see how many of the issues that our campaign fought for, and that was like ending student debt, making public higher education free, healthcare is a human right, and the Green New Deal. We're not just changing the debate, we've won the debate.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats have taken them all up, and that's really great. And I hope they go somewhere. But I have little doubt they're not going to go somewhere with it, because their thing is to make tokenism out of this and then basically stop it, which is what they're doing. They're sidelining all of that. But that was the mission of the campaign. It has a big foreign policy component. The American people don't support war. We're sick of war. We're being bankrupted and impoverished by war. Mm-hmm. And the war is not working. And it's sending, just hordes of desperate refugees to our border, whether they're coming from Syria or Iraq or from Honduras and Guatemala, and the rest. This policy of economic and military domination is backfiring against us madly. And we got to fix it. We're paying the price, too. And that was the message of my campaign. And I really wanted it to be heard everywhere that I had an opportunity to hear it. And when I got invited to, which is why I went on RT as well. They were one of the few networks that would actually cover this stuff. And then when I was invited to share that message more broadly, I did. And I was part of a first panel in this day-long conference, which Putin did not attend, but I later learned he had listened to it. And I thought that was great, and I really wanted to talk to Putin. I really wanted to pitch to him why we needed a weapons embargo to the Middle East and why his new bombing campaign on behalf of Assad in Syria was basically following in the footsteps of the U.S., and that this is catastrophic, and that we don't get to a peace. The only peace is political, and that we needed an emergency weapons embargo and a ceasefire, and then political dialogue. And I really wanted to be able to say that to his face. And I had hoped that when I heard that he was going to join this head table, I thought, oh great, maybe I can talk to him. But there was no translator there. He showed up just for a brief period of time. I don't know, it might have been 10 or 15 minutes before he gave a speech in Russian.
So did he have any kind of communication with you?
No, none. Not eye contact, nothing.
Right.
At one point, the table was like, it was so bizarre. Nobody talked to anybody.
That's what I was going to ask you too, is because Flynn was also sitting there. Did you talk to him at all?
He came over and introduced himself at the beginning. And I gave him my elevator speech about why I was there, and he was not interested, and so I thought, I wasn't interested in talking to him either, and I basically pitched to him about why we needed a peace offensive in the Middle East, and he had no interest, and my 30-second elevator speech was over, and that was that. Flynn turned state's witness, with Mueller. So if there was anything untoward going on at that table, Mueller would have long since known about it, and there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing that happened there. And that dinner, Putin played a trivial role in the dinner, except for the speech that he gave in Russian. And that dinner was a trivial part of the conference. The conference was a chance, above all, for me to network with the American peace community, who I really wanted them to know about our campaign and about how we were really pushing the envelope for peace in the U.S. and how the American people are starving for that, really want to hear it, are terrified about the nuclear weapons stuff, and don't have a clue how much the meltdown of nuclear agreements has been driven by the United States. There's a lot of room to move if only we wanted, to get rid of nuclear weapons, but we don't, and it was Obama who initiated this new nuclear arms race with this $1.5 trillion renovation of our nuclear weapons and their modes of delivery. It's outrageous that we are fanning the flames of nuclear catastrophe while we have 2,000 nuclear weapons on hair trigger alert between us and the Russians. This is just, to say it's playing with fire doesn't begin to get at it.